Hello, friends. This is Giuliano. It's a Wednesday today. It's the 20th of April, 420. And we are here for the weekly roundup. We're going to take a look at some longer term timeframes, weekly price charts for some crypto. We'll start with the altcoins today. I'm sharing the screen here. And I hope you like it. I hope it's going to be informative and maybe even a little educational, entertaining. So let's jump in. We're going to actually include NEAR today as well. So yeah, why don't we get started with NEAR? Okay, NEAR at this point is looking like a lot of the other stronger altcoins against BTC. Now in this video, we're looking against the BTC price chart. Because really, I mean, if you're in the crypto, you're either going to hold the BTC or you're going to hold something else. You could hold the stable coin, but I mean, that's just the USD and that's against the BTC pair. So when it's an overall big dump, I guess, yeah, we could talk about stable coins, but really we're looking at flipping pairs. So, you know, you focus on BTC and its pair, its relationship. And in that case, a lot of charts, well, I like this because we get a lot of variety in these charts. And for now, we're getting a chart which possibly has not topped yet. And in which case, we're about to see what we've already seen in other charts. We might see it in here. The other option is that it is already topped and we are just getting a retest of the top and it'll keep coming back down. So those are the two options on the NEAR chart against BTC. Now, currently, because the price is at a lower high, price is at lower high, and therefore, when we look at the MACD histogram, and we look at the RSI, what this gives us is currently is a potentially bearish convergence. But as the price rises above this level here, higher highs, then we get the we're most likely going to be seeing the bearish divergence that we saw on other charts, and we're going to take a look at them in the following charts. We'll look at them today. So we're going to get that bearish divergence if the price was higher. And if it doesn't, then it's already a bearish convergence and you're already at a lower high. Now, what are some factors here? We've got all of this selling in this wick action here on these price candles. Now we're in a current week here, so who knows? It could close higher or whatever's going to happen. We don't know. But you've got all this selling here at the top of the Bollinger Band. I think that's the main stuff. And then you've got the bearish convergence. So yeah, in this video, we just basically look at price action. I do call out the numbers and stuff, but it's really a look at price action and some associated indicators. I like using Bollinger Bands, Ichimoku Cloud with the crypto settings of 20, 160, 120, and 30. 200 moving average, which we don't see yet here. We don't have enough data. And yeah, MACD and RSI. So what else do we have here? Like within the Bollinger Band, it gives us a 20-week moving average. We've been, since these lows, we've been holding that 20-week moving average. Push the top of the Bollinger Band twice, third time here. So what's going to happen? It's unclear. But if this is where we turn around, then expect some time in a corrective market for NEAR. Otherwise, that's why I'm thinking there's still probably potential to go higher. I don't know when, but maybe it'll chop here first and go higher a bit later in the next move up. So yeah, when we look at levels, we start to see this here as this next level of where, okay, we had a top, a bottom. So are we going to range, or at least we know that this level here is a significant support, previously resistance, now support level. And then in the intermediate, probably if we take a retracement, you can do it either top to bottom or bottom to top. Either way, your 50 level is right here at this yellow line, okay? And what you get, where you see that, interestingly, that 50 level is basically at this previous resistance level here. And you even see it with the wick over here. So let's pop that right there and let's make it a dashed line. Perfect. And let us make it lighter. Perfect. So there you go. There is some leveling for the near chart in the near term. This is clearly this breakout level, and we're going to watch, see what happens. But I've given you some reasons why it might be a little weak. But also at the same time, there's room for it to go higher because bearish divergence can always then occur. So also, when we look at extensive moves here, say we take from the next level. The reason I take from here and not here is because it's like this is where the move ended and we get the shoot up. And if you notice, it's a one-to-one move. So is this just a zigzag here, one-to-one, and now we're correcting in the other direction? Possible. Let's find out. The other thing we can do is take a wow. Yeah, this could even be an X wave of some sort. Like if we're following proper, well, anyway, we're not following proper Neely method of Elliott wave, but anyway, got a nice channel here going on. So let's just take a retracement of this whole zigzag. It's about a 50% retracement. Can we call this an X wave? I mean, it goes right to the end of the channel. So maybe we're starting some next zigzag, a double zigzag here. I mean, that seems a little bit off. I finding that I'm just going to go off the price action and not try and name any not trying to name any patterns. But if on some level this becomes a impulse pattern instead of a zigzag, and we get this is actually a fifth wave, well, because this 1 and this 3, if that's where the case, would be one-to-one, we'd be looking at a pretty solid move up to this type of level here, which would be like 100,000 Satoshis. And currently you're at what, 45,000-ish? I mean, that's just a 100% move from here. 150 at least here in this sense. Here, let me see something. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 150% move if you're going all the way to this level. Anyway, so that's, I mean, that is if you're super bullish on near, and then maybe you don't even make the bearish divergence, maybe you make some sort of bullish convergence. But yeah, I don't think so. It just doesn't look or feel like that. You've already made a lot of bullish momentum, and it looks like it's turning over, even though the price could probably go higher. Anyway, we'll see. Worst case scenario here, price is rejected here and it turns over and we're done here. That could be a pretty bad bear market, and then you're starting to look at levels like down here as the as some sort of important final level. Okay. All right. So, and if we look at that as a retracement, it's just about between 61.8 and 78.6. So right here. Anyway, that is your near chart. We're gonna just keep this horizontal channel here for now. And then we also have this vertical one, which helps because now we have this trend line here. And when it gets broken, then we see that we're out of this move. And if it continues, then that's clear that we're going to follow higher. Okay, so that's near right there. I hope that's been helpful for you. near against BTC. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the party. RUNE is up next. RUNE back to 2200. It's been swinging. See, there's some swings in these price charts. Is this just a return to test the resistance and then it will turn back down? Or, momentum wise, does it have room to go higher? Well, it's still at the top of the Bollinger Band area, still at that previous resistance area, made a nice big green candle as a relief rally type of move. So really looking for this green line to get hit at some point, or this region-ish. And yeah, that's about it for RUNE for now, but it looks like the alts are green for now. But in the previous couple of weeks is where we can say that the candles have closed. It's been red, it's been down. So is this the beginning of something more in terms of correction, or was it just a pause in a continued upward momentum? So stick around for the next video. We're going to talk about Darrow, and that one has continues to impress with the movements on that price chart. Loving it. Okay, so now let us get out of RUNE and move over to Atom BTC on the weekly price chart. Oh, we are flirting with that lower uptrending support line. We're below the 20-week moving average. So similar to the other price charts, the last couple weeks have been down, but that has taken Atom right to the trend line. So maybe this will be a bounce point region. It also relates to the Ichimoku cloud. So maybe you get some relief bouncing there. At best, you come to the 20-week moving average, but does that even have the legs to get there? We'll see. We shall see. But currently in a negative momentum trend, and you've been up in the positive territory with the MACD signal lines. So at some point it will come down to the negative, and overall, that's why I'm getting the sense too that maybe longer term against BTC, the altcoins might see some sideways and down movements, because yeah, and that could be either in a strong Bitcoin environment or even in a weak Bitcoin environment. Yeah, we're going to see what happens. So the other thing though currently is that the price is at a very important support resistance level from here all the way back here and then here. I mean, it's more of a zone, and that's why I think I'd rather carve it out. Well, we have carved it out. Let's not kid ourselves. We have carved it out here with this purple box. So I'm going to leave that there like that and just extend it. Yeah, that's where we are. We're looking to see if price can hold this zone. I'm going to change the outline of the box to this color right there. And I think this and this, these are two lines that I'm going to get rid of. And we're going to focus on this current support zone. And then after that, then we can talk about this line here, which will provide then probably, well, hopefully, something of significance if the price goes down. And if you notice, it's at the lower end of the Bollinger Band. It's at the lower end of the Bollinger Band. So I guess that's what we're looking at for the Atom price chart for now. Okay, next, Luna against BTC. Luna against BTC, just like what we've seen in the other price charts, you've had 2 weeks of downturns. Okay. And now this week you've got a bounce. And if you look, it's around the 20-week moving average. You're getting a bounce. Actually, didn't even need to touch it. you're getting a bounce there, and also it's around the zone of previous resistance turned support. So and it's a good bounce. You got I think it's like a 30% bounce or something like that. So if you're playing these things, I mean, oh, no, that was something else then. The 15% bounce. Okay, still good. It's still good. It's still good. Yeah. So, but we're getting ever closer to this uptrending support, supporting trend line here. So it's a matter of time. Just like I mentioned we have this bearish divergence where the momentum is slowing. The price did catch liquidity higher. With near, it hasn't gotten to the higher point yet. So near might not even make it because it's got a similar activity in the momentum indicator. So we'll see on that one. That'll be interesting to see if it's similar or different in that sense. But yeah, I get the sense still Luna is in a distribution mode here, and good luck out there. So we also have MATIC. We have MATIC, and MATIC is nicely flattening. It got some support at the Ichimoku cloud, lower end of the Ichimoku cloud. That's this pink line here. But it did break down from the uptrending previously support, now turned resistance. If you look in the past week, the candle gets hard rejection around that area, and just a flat body. So this is just exchange of liquidity, exchange of bag holdership, and that's basically it. Maybe this is the beginning of a reaccumulation after this distribution event. I mean, you could argue this whole thing was a distribution event, and maybe you had a bit of reaccumulation here for the interim, and then more distribution. But that's been interesting, like just chopping slowly, and not a lot of volume compared to big buying volume. But anyway, that's besides the point here. I think the main idea is you get rejected at that uptrending line. I think the call for a bit of a prolonged move in this region is okay. Maybe the price even goes higher above this boxy zone, but does not break above the trend line again. Having said that, there is always the chance that you get a bull market in something. But again, you're up above the positive negative line. You haven't fully completed your momentum, so there's a room for chopping sideways. Yeah, so that's MATIC. Question is it going to go to the lower end of the Bollinger Band here, around this midway point of this big box, which relates to the support resistance lines of this range here. So that's it for MATIC. That's it. We'll see how it goes. Very interesting. I like that this one's a bit different, and like they all have a little bit of difference and some similarities as well, which is good because then it lets us see patterns and learn from it, right? I don't know who else is looking at these price charts. I mean, if you're one of the people who's here watching this video, then you're watching these price charts, but I don't know who else is talking. A lot of people like to talk about USD price charts, so that's good for them and everyone using USD, but also we want to take a look at BTC. And so hopefully that's what you're getting out of this one. And again, you see this distribution type of event here, and there's just been lower highs all the way through here compared to the previous highs. And the thing is though, there's a good chance this could be a reaccumulation after these distribution events. This could be some sort of reaccumulation. We've got a pretty much a narrowing of the Bollinger Bands. You're above a critical support line. The only negative is in the last 2 weeks, maybe not the only negative, but a negative is in the last 2 weeks, you broke down below the 20-week moving average. You rejected it. Well, it rejected you really as resistance, and how you're just flatlining here. You're below the 20-week moving average. But ultimately, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. And you're currently making a higher low of a higher low of this low. So overall, it's not a bad position. It's probably one of the better looking charts if this can turn out to be a reaccumulation zone, and then the price moves higher. Definitely got the most narrow Bollinger Band so far that we've seen. And yeah, I get the sense that, well, if this line, if this is broken, you're coming straight down. So yeah, Avalanche looking pretty decent overall. Yeah, definitely. I would wait for the momentum to start clearing out just to be sure. Personally, I'm not. This is none of this financial advice, though. You know, if you really want to wait for some strength that breaks out from the all-time high, but based on, you know, accumulation, or if you're really, if you're just flipping a pair, if that's the idea, really, then at this point through here, you're getting into BTC a bit, but you're also maybe balancing it. This could definitely be a 50-50 where you don't necessarily take a heavier position one side or the other. Okay, yeah, that's for Avalanche. This is looking strong, but at the same time, you know, you're in a precarious position. It's not long before breaking down. It's pretty close, but at the same, in terms of like, the price doesn't really need to go far. And also the Bollinger Bands are ripe for some volatility. Not quite yet. Maybe it needs a little bit more time, but they're pretty narrow, and the price just needs to jump to one end or the other, the upper end or the lower end, and boom, you take off to the upside, or boom, you break down to the downside. So something is coming eventually. It might need a few more weeks. It could definitely last here for many weeks. It already has. It already has. So it could lose its volatility and just go sideways, and that would definitely be a good sign of reaccumulation. All right, out of here. Thank you, Avalanche. We're gonna do 3 more. We're gonna do Solana, Phantom, and Polkadot. So SOL against BTC. SOL BTC. All right, I'm going to get rid of the background for now. Okay. Well, again, rejection at a 20-week moving average, two red candles, and now turning it around with some green support, and it's supporting right at the Ichimoku cloud. But the Bollinger Bands are quite wide, and you just got rejected at the 20-week moving average. However, having said that, doesn't mean you can't hop over it afterward. So maybe it does get a chance to hop back over it, and then you get into a stronger position, and you keep going above the Ichimoku cloud. Otherwise, eventually you're just going to break down below the Ichimoku cloud, come to test this level, and maybe even break down to the lower levels down here. That's most likely in that case. But you know, you do have some hope here. This could have been a deviation out of this boxy range. And then from here, then you would be going to the upper end of the range, maybe not necessarily to touch the top of the box, but you might make it to the top of the Bollinger Band, which is relative to these upper levels here. So those are the 2 directions for Solana. You do have some potential positive momentum, but oftentimes with what you see after a big move up is that it comes down, and sometimes it even comes lower before it can find some equilibrium, but other times it'll come down and it's still it's able to quickly balance itself before going higher. For this one to turn around right away and go higher, I don't know, but hey, you could start getting something like that and get your bearish divergence there, and I definitely see that that's possible. And the price, let's say, goes higher. You know, you get a price that goes higher up here. Okay, so you get a higher price and a divergence with the indicators. Maybe the RSI goes up here and you get some sort of divergence. I don't know. This is a weekly chart, right? So it'll take time, and who knows if it'll happen. But if there's any of them that's going to do it, maybe this is going to be the one that does it. Maybe you deviated out of this range down here and you pop back up above the Ichimoku cloud and you make your way higher. That would be incredible. Go Solana, go. But based on the shape and the trajectory so far, I'm going to say until you break out of this type of a level here, yeah, that's better. Until you break out of that type of level, well, then you're gonna obviously keep going down. So you know what? This is interesting spot that Solana is in. It could hop back over this type of force here. You know, I do get the sense that in the space time of this two-dimensional reality here on our screen, well, it's not even two-dimensional, it's just represented two-dimensionally on our screen in these price charts. That, you know, this resistance here where it closed and how this became support, and then it broke down, and it even like, you know, this is not perfect, but it kind of deviates above it, but comes right back down. And you know, so now this force of the field, the price action field, yeah, if you can break above this, then I think actually you've got some good chance here to do what I said, which is to at least get to these higher levels and top the Bollinger Band, if not actually make higher highs. That would be wild. That would be wild. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this one though, because it definitely broke out of this force, which was downtrending force. But usually you get one of these and then you get some sort of counter move and then you get another one. So that's why generally, even if you do end up breaking above here, the overall bias right now is to the downside. And you know what, watch, maybe we don't get above this green line yet. Maybe it breaks down, comes back up, and then falls down lower. I don't know. Let's find out. Okay, Solana, we've added a little bit of detail and thought process to this price chart. Okay, then you'd be getting, you know, a move up, correction, move up, correction, another move up. Interesting. Okay, let's wait for the break of that line. Good stuff, Solana. Thank you. Now we look at Phantom, which is faltering big time over the last number of weeks. I mean, many weeks of dumpage. And then for about 6 weeks now, including this week, we are in a sideways maneuver at this first real big support zone, which was previous resistance, turned support, and now is support. Now, technically, we broke down the line, but is the line really a line? Is it a zone? So whatever, we're looking at this kind of level here. And it's really the Ichimoku cloud too, which, you know, you could get a bounce. That's kind of a midway point between this line and this line. So, but there's room here for some chop and some support if it can manage it. Otherwise, you're going to break down potentially the Ichimoku cloud and make it to this next level. We're going to see. Maybe Phantom's also going to get a turn to move up. But having said that, it has not, from the top of the Ichimoku cloud, sorry, top of the Bollinger Band, I thought Bollinger Band in my head, but I said Ichimoku Cloud in my words. From the top of the Bollinger Band here, and it has not come to the lower end. Well, you could technically call it the lower end down here, but really it has not interacted enough with like the lower end of the Bollinger Band to really necessarily say, oh yeah, it's clear for sure. You already went from the top to the bottom. It hasn't really done that. Does it need to? No, definitely not. But you have lower end of the Bollinger Band down here. So let's see what happens in the coming weeks. I get the sense that this will follow the wider markets in terms of the altcoins. Whereas, you know, you might have something else like NEAR or even Solana or something else that moves apart from the general trend of altcoins. Okay, so the last one we'll do for today is Polkadot. .BTC. All right, so .BTC ended up having that support around the level we've been considering previously, but that was after it got rejected from the downsloping, downtrending resistance levels. So yeah, what's going to happen is I think eventually it's going to hop over, and actually, you know, there is some positivity around the Polkadot ecosystem right now, so could get some news that hops it over, and then who knows where it goes from there. Does it go lower, or does it just hop there, or does it even like go to the top of the Bollinger Band? Because by then, you know, you're coming down there, you're gonna eventually squeeze, but hey, nothing is squeezing like Avalanche was squeezing. Anyway, you're currently below the 20-week moving average. But momentum is favorable here. If we look at this momentum play, we've got more negative momentum, some positive, more negative momentum. So the next thing would be potentially some positive. Now, having said that, the positive here was lower highs than the previous move. Having said that, there was not enough data to start creating the histograms back here. But even with the RSI, we can see the highest RSI here has been you know, this price move here, and this has been the level of the highest RSI, and then from there it's just, yeah, it's been, that's here, it's been RSI has been moving down towards the negative end, sorry, negative momentum. But yeah, okay, so what if this becomes a bottom, and then now we are, you know, lifting off to next levels? That's possible. It's very possible, momentum wise. Even if it, but the thing is, so like I was trying to say with the lower highs, like maybe it just comes here, something like that, or even lower, maybe to this level. Well, you already had this level, but you see what I'm saying, right? Something like that, and then yeah, like that. That's possible, but that, what does that mean for price? Because that's what also we're looking at. We're not just looking at what's the momentum going to do. What would the price do? Would the price get rejected at the Ichimoku Cloud and the Bollinger Band here, and this resistance level here is previous support? Yeah, so there's that question. Now, we haven't even seen any hop over, but having said that, I mean, it looks like it wants to move into positive territory, but nothing is guaranteed. Okay, so I think I'm more favorable than not, but DOT can still suffer fate of others, and before it goes over, it might need to dump first, and then it can spring. So we'll see. I can't tell you for sure, but what I can say is that that's it for now for the price charts. We're going to end with Polkadot against BTC. I hope this has been helpful for you, and we're going to come back with more. We're also going to introduce the XMR long-term chart, and yeah, we're going to take a look at that Darrow price. Oh, you can see a little spoiler here. It's at a 32 right now. Okay, that's it for me. I hope you've enjoyed this. Until next time, wishing you love, peace, and happiness. Goodbye.